Grand Rising family, how's everyone doing today? Um, the assignment is going to continue on. So this is the teaching transition from empire to liberation. Okay, we've named empire control, scarcity, suppression. We've remembered divine order, freedom, circle, and balance within the last 2 days. Now comes the question the collective must ask in a spirit. Okay. How do we shift from one to the other? Good question. That's where the feminine flame comes in. Okay. Now, the feminine flame as liberator. Point 1. She was erased on purpose. Empire knew if Sophia, Asherah, and Magdalene stayed in the scriptures, people would see through the lies. Her flame is what makes you ungovernable. Number 2, she lives in everyone. This is not about gender, but energy. The feminine flame is the principle of receiving wisdom, nurturing life, and moving in rhythm with creation. Every man, woman, and child carries it. Some buried, some awake. Number 3, she dismantles empire from the inside. Empire builds pyramids, she builds circles. Empire enforces fear, she restores trust. Empire thrives on division, she heals through unity. Number 4, her rise today. You see her in women reclaiming birth and body, and men dropping ego and stepping into protection with love, not domination. And communities building gardens, co-ops, and councils instead of waiting for government scraps. Now here's a practice for the collective. Tonight, sit with the candle and whisper. Flame of the mother, rise in me. Flame of wisdom, rise in me. Flame of balance, rise in me. Let the silence answer you. The warmth in your chest, that's her moving. Don't think liberation is coming on a horse or through a politician's pen. Liberation is the flame, and that flame have been waiting inside your bones. Once it lights, empire don't stand a chance. All right, family, that was the extension of the 2 points of the empire versus the divine order. And that extended to the feminine flame, because again, it all goes back to the divine feminine. You cannot have one without the other. And I preach this every time. It all boils back to them removing the womb man out of the story. That's how everything is in a disarray. If you truly, truly want balance in your life, you have to add the divine feminine aspect back into it, because without it, everything is on masculine energy. You can't say that I'm tired of people feeling this way, that way, because people only acted in one form. Again, as I stated in my previous assignments, you must have that balance. And the one thing that they said is as men drop the ego and become the protectors again, stepping into that role and embodying that divine feminine. Men nowadays live so in much ego, like I'm the man, you got to know. And then you wonder why you're never happy. It's because you set yourself up for that. And the same with women. Because now women want to go on a divine masculine or the masculine type of energy and forget their feminine side. And this is intentional by the powers that be. So the question is, do you want them to still have control over your life even though you don't know they have control over your life? Remember, They are the influence. They build the mindset. It takes you to step out of that and see things from both sides. You have to. Nobody's telling you as men to drop your masculine side. Nobody's telling you as women to drop your feminine side. We're telling you to look at both sides. And once you look at both sides, everything is clear. Okay? So again, that wraps up for series 3. The last part I did was an extended version of that because we needed to hear that for part as the feminine flame being the liberator in this patriarchy system that they had set forth. It was imperative to say that, okay? So, let's go into what the next section is. As we got a lot of lessons to learn here. So we got to really get to the root of this. If we really want to have this change coming amongst us and not having the powers that be control our lives and our mindset and our aspects and what we should be doing, we have to step into our next stance. Now, series 4, which is going to close out this series. Your role as a flame carrier. And in series 4, what you'll be learning is how the flame rises in you and how the flame rises in them. The more you teach, the more you ignite. Remember, we learn from one another. Any information that I give, I greatly implore you to pass it on down because we have to move each other forward. If you have people that you know, get them to think on a different mindset. We got to push this thing forward. And we're going to do an activation, a word of prayer, or a chant that calls back what was hidden. Because the key of this is about restoration and taking back what they selfishly took from the people with intent. Okay? So as always, family, I like to say, whew, supreme rising, I speak truth, and I share.